Title appears with the words Vision Rehabilitation Therapist, VRT. An image shows two women working at a table. Text appears on screen. A vision rehabilitation therapist provides specialized training to people who are blind or have low vision. A woman appears on screen, Mary Beth, CVRT, CLVT, Certified Vision Rehabilitation Therapist, Certified Low Vision Therapist.
A CVRT is a Certified Vision Rehabilitation Therapist, and we can work in a variety of settings. Depending on your setting, you might be working with older adults who've lost their vision later in life. You could be working with working age adults and possibly even be at their job site helping them with workplace adaptations. Or you could even be working with children who've lost their vision, perhaps at birth. Maybe they were born with vision loss or developed vision problems young in life.
Jane, VRT, Vision Rehabilitation Therapist.
About a third of people over the age of 65 will experience major sight loss. That's a lot of people. So it's an important field.
Patty.
So it's kind of a creative challenge when you're deaf and blind. I think it's important to me to be able to be as independent as I possibly can.
Spencer.
I didn't realize that it was vision loss until I had pretty much no sight in my left eye. Now my vision is a little pizza slice in the lower left quadrant of my right eye. I was really into visual arts. I was really into journaling too. I was devastated.
Jane teaching Patty to thread a needle. Jane, VRT.
It's an understatement to say that it turns people's worlds upside down. To be told that you have a progressive sight loss, that you could lose all of your vision, you could certainly lose, with something like macular degeneration, you lose the ability to read, to drive, to recognize faces. These are big deals to people.
Ron, Orientation and Training Center Administrator, Department of Services for the Blind.
Every aspect of what we teach here leads to independence, 100% independence oftentimes. And then oftentimes not only that, but it also leads to a competitive employment, or it will lead to upper level education.
Polly, CVRT, Certified Vision Rehabilitation Therapist.
If you like to be self-directed, this job has a lot of freedom in terms of what you're going to do with someone, how you're going to do it. Often you just have to get to the end goal of them being able to do it, and how you get there is only limited by your own creativity. I take some time with them to talk to them about what issues they're having, what are they having trouble with, what have they given up doing, and from there I work with them to set some goals. It's just so much easier to go to a professional who can simply show you the quickest, most efficient way, who will assess you appropriately and make sure that the techniques you are using are going to help you today, but also be there for you if your vision changes even more in the future.
Mary Beth, CVRT, CLVT.
We work as a team with other healthcare providers, with social workers, with vocational rehab counselors, and other blind professionals, blind rehab professionals such as orientation and mobility specialists who are really focusing on that independent travel. I had the interest in blindness and vision rehabilitation, so I took the coursework. It was about 2 years worth of coursework where we learned about the anatomy of eye. We learned about teaching and learning principles. We did a lot of hands-on training where we were wearing blindfolds so that we had the opportunity to learn how to adapt various daily living skills and do them ourselves.
Text appears on screen. VRTs teach independence using creative strategies and adaptive techniques specific to the goals and needs of each person. Polly, CVRT.
So our scope of practice is incredibly broad. We teach everything a person would need to know except for outdoor travel.
Mary Beth, CVRT, CLVT.
Well, one of the areas I love to teach is teaching adaptive kitchen skills. So, how do you use a knife safely if you can't see that onion? And a lot of basic communication skills or introductions to technology. day-to-day things around the house. How to clean if you can't even see where the dirt is.
Hands measuring a cup of flour. Person reading with magnifier. Hands using a braille note taker. A man checks a large print calendar. Hands reading a braille magazine. A woman selects a shirt by reading a braille color label. Fingers scrolling with a magnified screen on a smartphone.
How to make sure you know what color clothing you're wearing. A lot of what we do is help the family understand also where to help, where not to help. We also learn how to use technology that works for folks with vision loss. A lot of that technology is available off the shelf on things like your iPhone. One of the roles that a CVRT has is to teach Braille. So that's another thing that we learn in school if we don't know it already.
Image of Braille teacher and student at a table.
You just push down the buttons that you want to make the letters. So here's that. All right, G are the four, your index finger, middle finger of both hands.
Okay.
1, 2, 4, 5. What I want you to do is bring your finger at the top.
Student works on a Perkins Brailler.
Yeah.
And can you feel those letters? Is that too close?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, on this side right there. Can you feel those?
Yeah. I can feel that.
Okay. So that's how you make your letters on a paper.
Text appears on screen, teaching the skills to succeed in life, self-advocacy and related skills. Keiko, CVRT, Certified Vision Rehabilitation Therapist.
We're not there only to teach those skills that we know, but we're there to help them to problem solve for themselves. So, you know, if you teach them how to think and how to problem solve and how to be creative, then you help them rest of their lives.
Lisa, holding a white cane, meets outside with Polly, CVRT.
Hey Lisa, you ready for your lesson today?
Yeah.
Great. We're going to review money management, money handling, making purchases, and we're also going to practice some of those self-advocacy skills we talked about. I understand that you've been having some trouble getting the people in the coffee shop to respond to you.
Yes.
Yeah, you walk in and they just ignore you and...
Yes, yes.
Okay. How are you going to get the server's attention when you arrive?
Starting to speak up for myself first.
Yep.
And if they ignore me, I'm just going to kindly ask them to please speak directly to me.
Sounds good. Any other questions before we go?
No, I think I'm ready.
Okay, let's go get that latte.
Let's do it.
Polly and Lisa walk into a coffee shop. James, with a white cane in his back pocket, meets Jane, VRT, on a neighborhood sidewalk.
I'm going to show you how I guide someone who's visually impaired, and the idea is that I want to give you as much control and independence as I possibly can. It's all about respect. You're not a dog or a cat, you're not on a leash, you're a human being and you deserve respect. So the way we do this is meant to give you as much control as possible. All right, I'm going to ask you to come up. Can you feel my arm? I'm going to ask you to grab my arm right above my elbow and hold me tight enough, not so tight that you're cutting off my circulation, but tight enough so that if I move my arm, I'm not worried I'm going to lose you. Does that make sense? Okay, so you're on my right. You got a good hold on me. You're going to feel me move. Everything I show you, I'm going to show you with my guiding arm. So you can feel me reach out for it, then come to my arm and follow it down and get the rail yourself.
Text appears on screen, teaching the skills to succeed at education and employment, technology. Ron sits at a desk using a computer with screen magnification. Ron, Orientation and Training Center Administrator.
Technology in and of itself levels the playing field for anyone who has any kind of a disability. And without technology, I would not be able to do my job. Invert the colors because of my vision impairment that I have. This exact setup for any of our students here. And without it, some of our participants couldn't sit down and read a book. Simply read a book.
Spencer.
I started learning Word and basic JAWS commands and how to use the internet. I started journaling again after that.
Keiko CVRT demonstrates iPhone gestures in the palm of Lisa's hand.
So you're moving this way, straight across, right? So that's going to take you from mail to the next item. And then when you get to the bottom, remember you were going to hear that clunk sound? Mm-hmm. And then when you get to and then you're reversing backwards.
WhatsApp, PowerPoint, contacts, Ventra.
Text appears on screen, providing instruction for independence in the home, cooking. Images of Patty using a microwave with bump dots. Jane, VRT.
Being able to show someone that they could cook their own meals. Something simple like putting bump dots on a microwave. It sounds like not much, but it's huge.
Bryce seated in the Orientation and Training Center kitchen.
It's a lot to deal with, becoming and partially or fully blind. If I do lose all of my sight, I can still take care of myself and I can still cook for myself. It's gonna make me feel more confident.
Polly, CVRT, works at a stovetop with Lisa, who is holding the handle of a frying pan with a sandwich inside.
We're going to review the steps for flipping over your sandwich. What is the first thing that you're going to do getting ready to flip that sandwich?
I'm going to try to find the handle of the pan as safely as I can by taking the double spatula, like so, to grab it. So using the closed spatula, I'm going to locate the bread. I'm going to try to find the edge of the bread. And once I find the edge, I'm going to take the spatula and get that bread underneath the open spatula. Once I feel the weight and I feel like it's on there, we go ahead and flip it. I'm going to take the closed spatula and gently scrape the top. If I feel like it's firm and it makes that scratchy sound, then I know it's toasted.
Good. Is there any other sort of clue that might give you a sense of it being cooked enough?
Yeah, I would say the smell and how long I've been toasting it.
Great.
I feel ready.
Okay, let's get the stove on and start cooking.
Text appears on screen. Make a difference as a vision rehabilitation therapist. Ron, Orientation and Training Center Administrator.
To know that we were the people that were instrumental in their independence. There's no words to describe how amazing it feels when you get to do that.
Patty successfully threads a needle.
I'm very grateful for Jane being in my life. I feel more confident and I feel more secure because she helped me see that I can do some of the things I was really struggling with.
Spencer.
It really helped me change my outlook on my blindness.
Crystal, Staff, Department of Services for the Blind.
If you want a job where you will truly impact people almost immediately, but then watch them develop and grow and develop more independence and just find excitement in a life where they felt like maybe their life was just completely over, I think going into blindness training would be a great way to do that.
Mary Beth, CVRT, CLVT.
The profession really values the person as a whole. It's our job, but it's more than a job, it's our passion too. This work is so important because the community of individuals with vision loss has historically been seen as a community that can't do things for themselves. One of the things that most adults will say they fear the most if something happened to their health is vision loss, and we help give people hope.
Image of James being guided by Jane, VRT, walking away along the sidewalk. Text appears on screen. Become a vision rehabilitation therapist. For more information, visit www.oib-tac.org. Text appears on screen. OIB TAC would like to thank the Orientation and Training Center, Department of Services for the Blind of the State of Washington for their assistance in creating this video. Text appears on screen. This resource was developed by the Older Individuals Who Are Blind Technical Assistance Center, OIB TAC, at the National Research and Training Center on Blindness and Low Vision, NRTC, at Mississippi State University. The OIB TAC provides training and technical assistance to designated state agencies and other servicing older individuals who are blind or have low vision. The OIB TAC is funded by the Rehabilitation Services Administration, RSA, under the U.S. Department of Education grant number H177H200001.